What up, world? You already know what time it is. Your boy, man, Mr. The host with the most. Don't need to brag the most. All those kind of toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way for us players to play. And I came to bestow the gift of game onto y'all today, man. And talk about this whole Micheal Rappaport, Kevin Durant situation. I think Micheal Rappaport needs to sit his goofy ass down. He smells like old pastrami and expired rye bread, and he needs to shut his goofy ass up. I don't care how much vintage hip hop he listens to, CNN, fucking Tribe Called Quest, you know what I'm saying, Boot Camp, Helter Skelter, all this shit. Sean P. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of that bullshit, bro. Because the fact of the matter remains, this motherfucker ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? He's not down for the cause. He's only out there to cause confusion, basically. And he really snitched on old boy Kevin Durant. Now, you being Micheal Rappaport, why the fuck would Kevin Durant want to be your friend? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who are you for Kevin Durant?
Why the fuck would Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant be like, yeah, I want to be this guy's friend. I want to actually speak to this guy. Kick it. Go have drinks together and shit like that. Like, where do you do that at? You know damn well people don't fuck with you like that, Micheal Rappaport. So I don't understand where this whole thing about Kevin Durant is not my friend. So that means you could ride on it. That's nothing about where we come from. You down there, put him on blast. Because he's being a good dude. Came to you straight up like a man and said, yo, listen. If you don't listen to me, I can't fuck with you. If we can't fight man to man, I can't fuck with you. And that's exactly what he should be.
Earn $300 with the performance.
I'm not saying he should be like threatening the man and say, yo, I want to kill you. If you talking shit about a man should be able to say, listen, next time I see you, I'm going to punch you in your face. Without no repercussions or make it seem like he's being a bully or something like that. Nah, you brought that on yourself, Micheal Rappaport. You got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat that. He's not down for this, or make it seem like he's being a bully or something like that. Nah, you brought that on yourself, Micheal Rappaport. But you got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat that. So I don't get it. If you ask me,
Smart, my bad, y'all. I was just checking to see if I was live on Facebook there. Yeah, so y'all gotta let me know, man. What's the dealio? So let's go ahead and look into this undisputed interview, which I think is pure BS. Like, how could you even do an interview after doing something so, unally-ish, You ain't trying to show no type of information. You ain't bestowing no type of knowledge. You just say, "Oh, Kevin Durant ain't my friend, so I should be justified in getting him fined $50,000. $50,000, yo. Mind you, that ain't the money Kevin Durant, but just the fact that you put a $50,000 dent in his pocket, he should have every right to punch you in your face when he sees you. And that's the realest shit I could ever say. Because you shouldn't be out here disrespecting athletes. And you're just a white boy comedian that clings to black society because you can't be no real comedian in your own right. So you go ahead and act like you're some yo cool white boy from around the way because you're Jewish and you live near white and black folks in New York, so you think you got things figured out. But that ain't the way of the world, man. That's not how shit works. Michael Rappaport. So you rapping bullshit, a bunch of bullshit. Why keep going back on this shit? I'm bad, y'all. I be high sometimes, just shit. Doing the wrong shit. But I got it. I got it for y'all. Don't mind me. Let's see what this fool gotta say. I don't consider Kevin Durant a friend. Why should he consider you as a friend, though? When did he ever say, "Oh, out of all white folks out there, Michael Rappaport is my friend"? You know what I'm saying? That shows how much of a bitch you are. NBA fines Kevin Durant $50,000 for offensive and derogatory language on social media. Motherfucker, he messaged you directly. Like he seen that the bullshit you're trying to pull, so he just went ahead and hollered at you and said, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you." And you took that to heart, start panicking and all that. Went to the NBA and you posted the tweets. Why would you post the tweets? Knowing that he would get in trouble for it because you know you don't want that ass whooping. And who would be scared of Kevin Durant beating them up? Kevin Durant is 120 pounds soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all scared of Kevin Durant beating your ass. Because you pussy. And being pussy, you can't hang around with real black folks. It doesn't work like that, Michael Rappaport. You can't have a ghetto pass. And then when you're around black folks, you turn into some holier than thou motherfucker. If you in the hood, you in the hood. Don't try to play that shit.
$50,000 for, quote, offensive and derogatory language on social media while direct messaging actor and comedian Micheal Rappaport. Katie apologized, telling reporters, quote, I'm sorry that people seen that language I use. That's not really what I want people to see and hear from me, but hopefully I can move past it and get back out there on the floor. Well, Micheal Rappaport is joining us now. And Mike, we appreciate you coming on. We do want to hear your side of the story. So how do you feel now that you've had time to really think about everything?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's been tough.
What's tough or what's crazy? And you know what's fucked up? Shannon don't want to cover this shit. You could tell Shannon's like, this is some bullshit. How is he playing the victim? And Kevin Durant got $550,000. And he's a grown ass man. They both grown ass men, right? A grown ass man should be able to confront you, and you should bitch up about it. That's just the way of the world. That's how the world works, Micheal Rappaport. But no, you need a system that protects you, and now you want to play the victim. Well, it's been hard.
Tough. You know, the last few days have been tough. Have been crazy. I've gone out of the house and I get, sneers, and I get finger pointing, and I don't do good with sneers and snickers. And then I actually went to the dog park with my dog, and people that usually, say hello and even play with my dog, they don't want to play with my dog Wheezy. And then, I went to my coffee shop and they said, not today, Cupcake. And it's weird. It's like, why are you calling me Cupcake? And then I get online and social media, and I know I put it out there, but people online have been so cruel and mean. And I have to say about the people on social media that I don't know, I could give a crap about the people on social media. In all honesty, guys, the whole thing has been crazy. I never expected it to turn into what it turned into. It's something that I take as a learning experience. It's something that, to be honest, I regret. I don't know Kevin Durant as a friend. I don't consider him a friend. We actually met on social media. He reached out to me because he wanted to do something that I call the shame game, when people come into my DMs and they say mean things, when they say racially insensitive things, when they threaten me, when they threaten my wife, literally, because I'm sure you guys get them. I get them every day. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. And Durant reached out to me because he wanted to do that. We actually did that. I met him. We were talking about doing business together. We didn't do business together. That was no problem. But that's the extent of my relationship with him. In regards to the DMs, this whole thing started with the opening night when he made his return, and the Shaquille, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith interview, where he shunned them. And I believe you guys talked about it on the show. I said something where I didn't even add him about the interview, saying, if you don't want to do the interview, don't do the interview. I didn't add him. The next morning, or I think, actually after the game, it might have been after the game, he started, he went into my DMs and he said, we were going back and forth about that. And that was fine. I could banter, I could trash talk, I could say whatever, I'm good with that. I'm comfortable with that. I've made a good career in the sports world from that, a great career in the podcast world because of that. But when you say you're going to spit on me and you can't wait to spit on me, and let's meet up on this street and that street because you're going to spit in my face. And that was the first time. And then there was a second time when I see you, I'm going to spit in your face. And then last Tuesday in the morning, while I was at work on Atypical, I was dealing with a lot. I'm moving. There's a lawsuit situation that I'm dealing with. And he hit me out of the blue. I can't wait to see your dirty butt. When I see you, I'm going to spit in your face. And I'm like, and then he kept going on, and then he brought up my wife. And at that moment, it wasn't Durant. At that moment, it wasn't a basketball player. It was just another dude in my DMs. And I was like, yo, this ain't cool. We're not friends. There's no bro code. I don't know you like that. That's not banter. That's not funny. That's not like me, saying, yo, look at Shannon's suit today that he's wearing on the show. Why are you wearing those colors? They don't match. Or Skip, you're crazy. That shot wasn't as big, the greatest shot ever. That's none of that stuff. That's not, you're sensitive. That's nothing. And I put it out there. Did I think it would turn into this whole thing? Absolutely not. Do I wish I had never done it? 100%, because it turned into a whole situation that I didn't imagine. I didn't imagine that it would grow tentacles into a race issue, which is shocking to me. I didn't realize that it would grow tentacles to turn into a possible homophobic issue. But it happened. There's obviously, his ramifications have been public. In all transparency, full transparency, I've had to deal with ramifications, with my world and my business. And I got to take that on the chin. And, going forward, I just have to be sharper. I have to be smarter. I have to be more mature about how I, handle myself on social media. So that's how, that's the gist of it. And like at the end of the day, I regret that the whole thing happened. And, aside from, all the banter, the person that was the most pissed off about me, probably the most pissed off because of the attention and the sort of negative attention is my wife. And she's probably, forget the doghouse. I'm in the house with the alligators with her. She doesn't like the attention and the negative attention. And that's where we are. So that being said, I got to take all that on the chin, and hopefully I can move forward and be better in regards to how I deal and speak on social media.
So, Michael, you're saying that all the negative backlash you've received, even from your wife, is because you went public with the DMs. So you regret going public with the DMs.
No, I don't regret going public with the DMs. My wife, that's just like, she doesn't like attention. She don't care about the DMs. And like I said, I've put people on blast with DMs all the time. I do it all the time, literally all the time. That's why Durant reached out to me. We did a skit that's on his YouTube network where he put out a tweet, and we read his messages online, called The Shame Game. I put out people's DMs. If you say anti-Semitic things to me, if you say you're an N-word lover, if you say, when I see you, I'm gonna do this to you. I put people's DMs all the time. At that moment, Durant was just a person in my DMs threatening me. It was the third time. And like I said, it was just a spur of the moment thing. When I've made rants standing up for the little guy, when I made rants that go super viral in regards to the Charlottesville situation, obviously we don't talk politics on this show, but I've made rants that went super viral regarding politics. I made a rant that the only time I ever got suspended on Twitter was when that Fox News lady, she said to shut up and dribble. And I did a very volatile rant in defense of NBA athletes, actually LeBron, and I believe Durant was part of what inspired her thing. Not that, that matters, but, that's just my persona on social media. It's not who I am in real life. It's a larger than life, sort of exaggerated persona, just like how you guys are on this show. In real life, Skip's not screaming, yelling about sports, nor is Shannon. That's my online persona. I let my online persona get the better of me. But in regards to why I did it, I didn't like being threatened, and I don't, unless you're saying your wife is gorgeous, unless you're saying your wife is beautiful, don't speak on my wife. We're not friends.
Okay, so Michael, why then do you think you got shunned by people at the dog park and at your coffee shop?
That was a joke. In regard to the dog park and the coffee shop, I was just playing with you guys.
Okay.
I think for some reason, people this took on a life of its own. And like I said, if I had known it would take on this life of its own, I wouldn't have done it. It became fodder. Somehow it went from Tuesday to we're almost a week. Usually you know these things on social media, the news cycle is so quick, they usually die down. This thing ignited something. I'm not exactly sure why, but I get it. I understand it. And as far as the dog park and the coffee shop, and some people that I know that I consider personal friends have commented in a way that I thought they should have reached out to me. That's cool. And as far as people I don't know, burner accounts and Russian accounts and bots, I could care less. I've gotten phone calls and FaceTimes from players that played in the league. I've gotten some texts from players that are in the league now. And, people have varying opinions on the whole thing. I know my part in it. I take responsibility. And, that's all I could, I don't know what more I could say about it.
Mike, that was my biggest problem, was that you released the DMs. You have to understand, if that's anyone else, if that's Joe Blow, they don't know who Joe Blow is. That's Kevin Durant. In many regards, he's the first or second or third best player in the NBA. You had to know. If I release DM from a girlfriend, they don't care. But if my girlfriend is a celebrity, the shade room, everybody's going to pick that up. Mike, that's just not anybody. That's just not the normal troll that's in your DMs. And second of all, how did you allow this to get to this? The moment it started going sideways, there's no more banter. Now it's time to cease and let it go. I'm going to unfollow him, block him, and keep it moving. Why did you allow it to get to this?
Well, in regards to what you said, Shannon, you said this when you first talked about it. You're 150% right. It shouldn't have got to that point. It should have been blocked and deceased. It should have moved forward. He's Kevin Durant. I'm Micheal Rappaport. You know who I am. So, I didn't like it. I don't look at myself as this is the reality. I should look at myself as that, because I am Micheal Rappaport. You know who I am. I have been, in the public eye for 30 years. Like I said, I underestimated the power of social media. I underestimated the power of my social media. I didn't appreciate the spitting. I didn't appreciate the threats. And like I said, unless you're saying your wife is beautiful, God bless her, God bless you, you're a lucky man. We're not boys. Like, I don't banter by saying, hey, Skip, when I see you, I'm going to spit on you. And Skip goes, that's funny. Well, I'm going to spit back. And I go, that's not banter. That's not trash talking. That's threatening. So, like I said, it got out of way bigger than I thought.
Mike, why did you just reach out?
So you could have handled it behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see that shit? You could have. Well, he chose not to.
Earn 3.
He chose to go to the other route, the sissy route. Say, you know what? I'm going to expose Kevin Durant somehow. You're not exposing Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? You're getting exposed by Kevin Durant because he had to pay the $50,000 fine. You know what I'm saying? And you still didn't publicly apologize. You're like, oh, he's not my friend. So why are you going at him? You know what I'm saying? Why are you going at him? It makes no sense. It's Kevin Durant never said he was your friend. So you knew you were baiting him into a situation where it makes you look like a little instigator. Now people are looking at you like, that's what you're doing to our athletes, our black folks. Okay. How come you always have a problem with a black person? You know what I'm saying? And it goes viral. Something's wrong there, you know? Do I think KD should have been messaging him all that type of shit? No, but he was obviously angry about the situation, so Michael Rappaport's playing like, okay, I'm a tough guy too, you know? I'm gonna just put this out there. You know, 50 grand down the drain. Well, I don't know if it was the other way around. Michael Rappaport would get a slap on the wrist, whatever the case may be. But I do know this. This is double standard, man. You know what I'm saying? They're using the system to get out. Just in different ways, you know? I'm talking about that wasn't banter. Hey, man. Not everybody's into the banter, you know? At the end of the day. If that's what you're into, sometimes you gotta de-escalate the situation. Not really explain what you're trying to do because some people don't know and they ain't taking it as such. You know? So you got Shining down.
Papa, je peux te...
And you know Shining's gonna go in.
Derogatory language on social media that surfaced while direct messaging actor and comedian Micheal Rappaport. Katie apologized.
Let's see what Shining does. You think Shining's gonna say he understands where he comes from, or Shining's gonna be like, this bum got everything that's coming from.
Apologized, telling reporters, quote, I'm sorry that people seen that language I used. That's not really what I want people to see and hear from me, but hopefully I can move past it and get back out there on the floor. Guys, Micheal Rappaport will join us later in the show, and he will, of course, explain his side of the story. But first, really, Shannon, did the punishment fit here?
Yeah, I thought it was fair. Skip, that's along the lines of what we've seen other guys that utter slurs or what the NBA deemed as inappropriate language. And Kobe got a fine, Rondo got a fine, Myers Leonard got a fine. Although whether in the homophobic, Myers Leonard was a racial, epithet. So for me, yeah, I'm good with that. $50,000 is the maximum allowable fine that the NBA can fine a player under the CBA. So I'm good with that. The only thing I didn't like was Kevin Durant's non-apology.
Yeah.
Skip, I'm sorry that people seen that language I use. That's not really what I want people to see and hear from me. But hopefully I can move past it and get back on the floor.
Yep.
I'm sorry I used that language. That's not how I talk. That's not what he said.
No.
I'm disappointed that you saw that I talk like this. The bigger question is, Skip, okay, what do these endorsers that pay Kevin Durant good money, what do they think about his comments? Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. I just don't get why you. I get, Skip, like I said, when you're comfortable, you get into a disagreement, you say things. And a lot of times what we do is that we get into an argument, Skip, we go to the thing that we feel will cut the deepest. What can we say, though? What is the most hurtful thing that we can say? Because I want this person to feel the anger and the fury that I'm feeling right now. So I'm going to say the most hateful thing that I can think of.
Yep.
Come on, Katie, we better than this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Skip, I'm not going to DM somebody that constantly criticizes me. Why would I want to have a conversation? You've already let me know what you thought of me, be it it's your job or whatever. So why am I going to go back and forth with you? Why? I mean, I would expect if I DM someone, I'm having a conversation. I'm not talking about, oh, you this or you that. Well, I don't get the connection between these two. That's the most puzzling thing. And like I said, Micheal Rappaport is coming on the show, and I'm gonna ask him, Mike, what do you think was gonna happen if you release these messages? Exactly what happened. It was gonna be a firestorm.
Yep.
That's the reason, Skip. People keep emails, people keep text messages, people keep voice messages. I don't have not one voicemail. I don't have one text message. I erase everything. What am I keeping it for? I know what you said. What, at some point in time you make me mad, I'm gonna throw it back up in your face and let somebody else see it? Nah. Come on. It was bad all the way around, but to make a long story short and a short story long, the punishment fit the crime. There was no crime, but Skip, you get what I'm saying. The punishment fit what he said and what the NFL what the NBA could actually do as far as the CBA. So I'm cool with it. And like he said, KD, hopefully we can move past this, but I just wish you had issued a better apology. Says, I'm sorry, guys, this is not the way I speak. I was wrong for this. And not say, I'm sorry that you saw it. You heard it. That's not an apology.
I so agree with you about the non-apology apology. That wasn't enough. I wanted to hear more from a man I have so much respect for as a basketball player. I still think he's the best player on the planet. We have not seen his basketball talent on the floor for a very long time. Maybe we will in the very near future.
Since February 13th.
Hamstring. But in this case, this is a very fine line, a very tricky line that we're dealing with here. DMs meant to be private,
correct,
made public.
Yes.
But they were made public. And I hearken back to the worst case of this. The most glaring example of this was obviously Donald Sterling, the former owner of the Clippers, made some very racist remarks in private to his then girlfriend that she made public.
Correct.
And it confirmed many people within the Clippers organization's suspicions about Donald Sterling's feelings about black people. But it confirmed them, and it cost Donald Sterling his basketball team.
Correct.
So here we go with the Kevin Durant $50,000 fine. And yet Myers Leonard was suspended for a week. Now he's gone for the rest of the season. So they just
the team suspended him, not the league.
The team. But he did get a suspension.
Correct.
And yet in that case, he's already had surgery and is out for the rest of the year. So he just couldn't come around the Heat facilities for a week. Not a big deal, but at least it demonstrated the depth of the Heat's issues with him and what he said.
Correct.
We're going to talk more about what he said in relation to Carlton Davis just in a few minutes here on the show. Here we go again. But in this case, I wanted to see Kevin suspended, even if you want to call it your basic wrist slap suspension, for a game or 2 games or even a week. He's out now anyway. It probably wouldn't have mattered. It would just have shown a little more. You could argue the Nets could have done that. The Nets said, starting with their new head coach, that we all talk to him and we know where he stands and we feel good about blah, blah, blah. Like we had great conversations with him. Again, I'm looking forward, as you are, to talking to our Micheal Rappaport, guy we have as contributor on this show. And he's had lots of time to think about what happened, and he'll have maybe a different perspective on it. So can't wait to hear that side of that story, and we will cross-examine later in the show. But from my communications with Micheal that night that it all hit the fan, it was Tuesday night going into our show on Wednesday, I believe that he was somewhere between feeling threatened and angry because Kevin had introduced the wife into it somehow, into the back and forth on DMs. And that really angered Micheal. And he also felt somewhere between threatened and like there was an intimidation factor here because it was very threatening language. And it really made Kevin Durant look bad. And again, as much respect as I have for him on the court, I've lost off the court because he's got the thinnest skin of any superstar I've ever closely observed. And I've said that many, many times on this show, but that dates all the way back to his Oklahoma City days. And I've never understood it because he's so much better than this. He is so great. What does he care about what people say on Twitter or Instagram? In the end, what does he really care about what super fan Micheal Rappaport says?
I think, Skip, Samuel Jackson had a quote. He said, in order for me to value what your opinion, I have to care. Kevin Durant cares too much about what other people think of him.
This entrepreneur brand logo was done by a top free.
What y'all think about that?
There are a lot of people he does not know on Twitter.
He's probably a lot of these people that be atting him and stuff like that is never going to meet Kevin Durant.
Nope.
But Skip, and I get it. Sometimes it bothers you with Skip, the old heads with a Barkley or some of the old heads. If Magic Johnson wasn't say something, Skip, these were all-time great players. Magic won championship with an MVP. So you're gonna take what? Hold on, damn. Magic Johnson said that. Let me give a second. Let me reevaluate some things.
Agreed.
But a guy that doesn't look, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're gonna critique my game and say what?
Yep.
You would think that Kevin Durant would just keep on stepping, but for whatever reason, it bothers him. I think the thing at the end of the day, Skip, it comes back to LeBron. He said it. He said, if LeBron James is the GOAT, I went to his house and beat him twice. What does that make me? Nobody has really ever said Kevin Durant's a better player than LeBron James. Now, you might think it, but for the most part, LeBron is regarded as a better player than Kevin Durant, even though Kevin Durant beat him head to head.
He did.
So the validation that he thought he was going to get by winning championships and beating that guy to get it never came. So he's saying to himself, damn, what do I have to do to get the credit that I deserve?
Yeah. Okay. So I've tried to read into Kevin's behavior, erratic behavior, reckless behavior. I've tried to read in Jordan-esque because what was Michael's MO? He would create feuds with people that didn't even exist. But those feuds that he created were with rival players or rival coaches. People who counted, people who mattered.
I think the thing is, Skip, sometimes I wish, but then I'm like, hey, I was in that era too. If they'd had social media, because Skip, we didn't have 24-hour news cycles like we have it now.
Nope.
And everybody that had a cell phone, that had internet, all of a sudden became an analyst or a columnist or an opinionist. They didn't have that. So it'd been very, very interesting to see had this transpired in the 80s and the 90s, where everybody
always beefing in the 80s and the 90s. That was the MO of the NBA. Just because now Michael Rappaport is a Jewish white man, comedian. It's banter. Well, you know how it goes. Guys get told, people get exposed. At the end of the day, it is what it is, man. But sometimes you gotta be a man. It ain't always gonna be, mediators and shit like that. Well, the NBA find Kevin Durant, rightfully so, because he's too damn emotional. But in Michael Rappaport, stop your banter if you can't take it back. Word Matt Mizzle. You know my slogan. Keep it real in the physium. Forget how they fizzle. I'm out. Peace.